Manimala, PGT Commerce from JNV Pondicherry, live with you all. On this bright and sunny afternoon, it's my privilege to have you all on the session. Through these uncertain times, I as a teacher am overwhelmed to see that the process of teaching learning is still continuing. Please cooperate with the system, the government as a whole, the country, by doing things you ought to do, and it also includes studying students. Keep up with the spirit, and as I try to take you all through these three beautiful and important chapters of business studies, so I'll take you through the fundamentals of management and business environment. So for this, I'll be dealing with the first three chapters of our 12th standard business studies, which includes the nature and significance of management, the principles of management, and business environment. So students, the first chapter, which is the nature and significance of management, I'll be teaching you what are the characteristics, the features of management and the importance of management. In 11th standard, we taught you business and the types of business that a person can undertake and the various forms of business organizations that are available. And we taught you about all sorts of business, whether it's internal or external, whether it's retail or wholesale. We taught you everything about business. But then when you have come to 12th standard, you should understand how to manage that business. So in 12th standard, we'll be teaching you everything regarding management. We start with the definition of management and we'll carry you up to the types of management, which can be marketing management, personal management, financial management, etc. So to start with the topic of management, I'm going to go for the first chapter, which is the nature and significance of management. So students, what do you understand by management? For that, students, let us see that it's actually management is required for any type of organization. Here I have told you that it's required whether it's a manufacturing organization or a trading organization or it's a not-for-profit organization. It is required in all types of organization. And what is management? It is a series of interrelated functions that are performed by managers. And it is essential whether the organization is big or small, profit or not profit organizations. Now, it is also necessary so that individuals make their best contribution towards their group objectives. Before I go into the nature and significance of management, you should understand a little bit about management as a whole. And for that, students, what do you understand by management? You know, students, suppose you are having a program in your school. There's an annual day program and you are the head boy of the school. So the school will ask you to take care of certain activities, okay, to chart out a plan and then to see that according to the plan, things are very organized. What and all you have to do for organization, you will take care. Maybe you are involving other students, you're allocating various jobs to them, and then seeing to it that everyone has to do something. And then you fix the right person for each job and you keep directing them. And at the same time, you always see that things are according to the plan, according to that chart that you are having. This is necessary for a small, one-day program in your school. It's also necessary for a small organization or even for the biggest organization. It's also necessary for the government as a whole. So what do you understand, students? It's essential everywhere and for all type of organizations. So I will go to the next topic, students, to understand that there is various features of management, because of which management becomes very necessary. It's an activity, and wherever there's a group of people involved, then it's an activity, and it aims at guiding the efforts of the group towards a common objective. It's a process of getting things done effectively and efficiently. I have to come to this topic to teach you what is effectiveness and what is efficiency. These are the two important concepts that you have to understand while we are doing a business. That is, while we are managing a business. The word effectiveness says that the task should be performed. So when you're asking a person in your business to finish the work and he does the task, we say that the work has been done effectively. Now, what is the meaning of efficiency? When this very work which has been done effectively is done without any wastage of resources, without wastage of time, without wastage of money, and without wastage of the people who are involved, without their work also, I call it as efficiency. Getting things done in the least cost with the least material is called efficiency. So management is getting the work done from other students. When we just get the work done from others, we say we have done it effectively. But when we get the work done from others through the minimum cost and the minimum resources, I say that we are getting the work done efficiently. So there will always be efficiency versus effectiveness. Some people will do their work effectively, whereas some will do it efficiently. A combination of this will come as management. So management is very important to get the work done efficiently. Let us go to the next slide, students, to go further in our topic. And okay, we are going to to what management consists of. When I say it's the work done by others, naturally it means there's a process involved in it. So what is the process, students? Management is actually a complete function, and in this function there are various steps involved, in which you will make a plan, you will organize, there will be staffing, directing, and controlling. So management is a process, and it involves this following 5 very important steps. The functions are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Now, we also understand that management always has to be done effectively. Please read what is written over here. Being effective or doing work effectively means finishing the task. The third important element of management is doing it efficiently. And what is efficiency, students? Efficiency means doing the task correctly and with minimum cost. Okay, students, you should be able to get the same output as you have done effectively, but the resources used should be less and the cost incurred should also be less. This is what you understand about efficiency and effectiveness. Now, students, if this is the process of management, so we understand that there are features of management. What are the features of management? The characteristics of management. Management is a goal-oriented process. Okay, students, management is a goal-oriented process. How can it be a goal-oriented process? You will have a goal when you make a plan. Why are you doing that business? Maybe to maximize your profit. Last year you earned a particular amount of profit. Maybe to go 10% higher than that profit. So you will be always having a goal for your business. To achieve that goal is the first feature of management. It is also the second feature of management. It's always pervasive. The meaning of pervasive is it will be always required. It will be required for all type of organizations. It will be required at all levels. So it's always required, students. You cannot say only the top manager will be using management. No, students, it will be required in all levels and by all levels of organization. Okay, students. So it is all pervasive. The third important characteristic of management is multidimensional. You know, students, if you take a diamond, it has multi dimensions, and management has these three important dimensions. One is the third point. Yes, one is no. Okay, so management is multidimensional. What are the dimensions, students? The management of work, the management of people, and the management of operation. What is the meaning of multidimensional? You know, students, we have to manage the work. There will be operations involved in the business. So this operation has to be managed very well. Right from purchasing of raw materials up to taking it up to the finished product, we have to manage the work. So this is called management of work. Then we have to manage the people who are involved in that organization. You know, students, we understand that the human nature is variable, and it is so different for each person. Now, to put all of them together and make them to achieve that common objective, it requires management of the people. So this is another dimension of management. The third dimension of management is the operation that is involved. Okay, students, there will be a business cycle that will be involved in the organization. This also has to be managed. So management is not just, you know, doing it at a single time. No, it is multidimensional, and it requires management of work, people, and operation. Now let us go to the remaining characteristics of management, students. That management is a continuous process. Now, how can management be a continuous process? Management is a continuous process. That is, you cannot say that I have done my management today in the morning and that is enough. No. It will be required continuously throughout the day, and it will be required at various steps, and it will be required at for various departments. It will be required for men, machine, and for money. So management is a continuous process. The second, the next feature or the characteristics of management is it is a group activity. It's a group activity. So management involves not a single person. You're not going to manage a single person. You are going to manage an entire group of people. This group will be divided into various subgroups in order to do management. So it's not about a single person. It's not how a single person thinks. It is the management of the entire group. Then let us see, students, that management, the next characteristic is management is a dynamic function. What do you understand by dynamic function, students? It will always change according to the given environment. The management will always have to face various business environment, and so it will be required to be changing itself. And this is another characteristic, that the management will not be static. It will keep changing. The last characteristic of management is it's an intangible force. How is management an intangible tangible force? We understand that when you can feel anything, or you can touch them and feel them, then it's a tangible force, like the pen in your hand, like the book in your hand. It's a tangible force. But management is not something you can touch and feel. It's something which is not actually visible to the naked eyes, but it is there. We are trying to do this as a process, as a function. So management also is an intangible force. These are the characteristics of management as a whole. I'm coming to the next slide, students, to understand the environment or the multidimensional activity through which management goes, students. So here you understand, students, that management includes planning, organizing, controlling. It also includes directing and leading. And in that, you will have many multidimensional activity, that is human resources, which includes the management of people, financial resources, that is the management of money, physical resources, that is the management of materials, information resources. You cannot run an organization without proper communication. So all this is a multi-dimensional makes management a multi-dimensional activity. So having studied the characteristics of management, now let us study what are the objectives of management. There are three important objectives of management. The first one is the organizational objectives. And as you see on the screen, students, what and all are the organizational objectives? Okay, students, the first one is survival. We should always be careful that we start a business not to end it abruptly. If you are not careful, it will not survive, students. If you are not careful, the business may have to be closed at any point of time. And that's a very dangerous situation. You should not come to a point where you're not able to run your business further. That is, when you're not able to earn enough income to cover your costs. So you should be able to earn enough income through your business to cover the cost. This is called survival of a business. And to keep the survival of the business is the important objective of business. The second organizational objective is to earn profit. Just mere survival will not, help all the stakeholders who are involved in it. And for that, students, a little up about the expenses we have to earn. This is mainly for not only covering the cost of living or the index of living, but it also involves expansion, diversification, growth of the organization, etc. And so, students, it is very important that we always earn profit. And so the third objective will be fulfilled, and the third objective is growth of the organization. We cannot keep an organization in the same position as it is. It is not the objective of any businessman to keep a business as it is for years together to come. So he'll always be interested in the growth of the organization. So this together brings up the organizational objectives. What are they, students? The survival, the growth, and the profit. All the three put together gives us the organizational objectives. Having studied the organizational objectives, let us come to the remaining two objectives, and the first is the social objective. What is the social objective, students? When we do business, we should be careful that we do not spoil the society in any way. We should use environmental friendly methods of production. For example, we should not create air pollution by pumping out the bad air, whatever of your business, into the open air. We shouldn't pump it out. Sometimes the water coming out of the business may be polluted, and too bad for nature as a whole. We should see to it that all the methods should be environmental friendly. Another important social objective which we shouldn't ever leave it off alone is to give employment opportunities to the disadvantaged sections of the society. They may be based upon certain characteristics which they have inherited from their forefathers, or it can be young people and children who are born physically or mentally with disadvantages. Can we help them? This should be one of the social objectives of every business. The next one is we can provide basic amenities to the employees, like providing schools for their children, crash facilities to the employees. These can be some of the social objectives of business. What is the third type of objective, students, of management? The third important objective of management is the personal objectives. All employees will have their own objectives. It can differ from, having good financial assistance like competitive salaries and perks. It can be social needs like peer recognition and higher level needs such as personal growth and development. And so this is what you understand about the social objectives and the personal objectives of business. So we understand that uh, there are objectives of management. Without objectives, management will not go in the particular direction that it has to go. Let us go to the next slide to understand the chapter further, students. Beyond objectives, we are going to understand the importance of management. What are the importance of management? Management helps in achieving group goals. There will be group goals. It can be departments. It can be various products which they are manufacturing. Each group will have their own goals. A production department, a finance department, each departments can have their own goals. Management helps in achieving the group goals. This is very important for the management. Management also increases efficiency. When I taught you about efficiency, I said efficiency is getting things done effectively, but also with minimum cost and resources. So how can you achieve this? Only through proper management. The third importance of management is management creates a dynamic organization which can change according to the changing times. We understand, students, that at present the situation in our country is fast evolving. It's dynamic in nature. We suddenly jumped into a situation where something like COVID-19 attacked not only just the country but the entire globe. So how has it affected business? Business has had to think something differently. This is called dynamicism, and management is required whenever there will be changing times or in a changing type of environment of an organization. The fourth importance of management is management helps in achieving personal objectives. I have already said that personal objectives can be something like getting very good pays or perks or good recognition, or some employees would like to grow fast, go up above, and these are all some of the personal objectives. This can be achieved only through management. And the last importance of management is management helps in the development of the society. How can we develop a society as a whole? When we provide things necessary for the society as a whole, then we are able to develop the society as a whole. We should keep at par with changing times and see to it all that which is available in changing times are provided to the people in the society. Thus, a country develops. From a developing stage, it comes to a developed stage. This is another importance of management as a whole. So having studied the characteristics and the objectives and the importance of management, I now come to the next topic of the nature of management. What do you understand, students, about the nature of management? Each one has a particular nature. An elephant has a particular nature, whereas an ant has a particular nature. Management also has natures, and let us study the various aspects of the nature of management. The first thing is that is management an art? You know that art is like singing, like dancing is an art. Okay, drawing is an art, painting is an art, making pottery is an art. To create sculptures is an art. These are beautiful arts which can be taken into perfection. Now, does management come into the category of an art? For that, let us study the features of management, of art. The features of art is the first one, there is existence of theoretical knowledge. Now, theoretical knowledge means, people will be always trying to define things even in art. And what is defining things? The perfection of an art will always be put in theory, students. So this will be always there. So what they will try to do, students, they try to put it in theory and to put it in such a big way, in bulks, that we can make books out of it. So when we do that, we create a lot of theoretical knowledge on a particular subject. Now, this is one of the features of art. The second feature of art is it has a personalized application. If you're seeing art, students, you're asking two students to sing the national anthem. One will sing it in a particular way, in a particular pitch. The other is going to sing in a completely different way. His pitch may differ, maybe the tune may not differ, but he can bring a lot of creativity in it. So it's very personalized, students. Art will always have a personalized effect. The third feature of art is it will always be based on practice and creativity. You have to practice the art. You don't become perfect in art just by, that since you know drawing, you just can't draw and be perfect in drawing. No, you keep on practicing it. And as you practice it, you excel in it. And then you try to bring in a lot of creativity into it. So these are the three characteristics of art. Now let us try to see, students, if management has these three characteristics. So let us management, whether it has these characteristics of art. First, a successful manager practices the art in the day-to-day job. So it is based on study, observation, and experience. So he is going to study about it, he is going to make various observations, and he is going to experience it. So what is he going to do, students? He is going to practice it in day-to-day activities. The second one is, a management. So sorry. Yeah, management is going to be said to be an art. I have to explain to you, students, all the three features, students, the slide before. So, management also has theoretical knowledge. Management also has personalized application. Management also is based on practice and creativity. So all the three features of art is there in management, students. It has a lot of theoretical knowledge. It is also based upon practice and creativity. And it also involves personalized application. One manager gets his work done by talking to his to his subordinates smoothly or coolly, whereas another manager may not be as stress-free as the other one. So it's different. All managers may be different. So this is called personalized application. Now you see that all the three features of art is there in management. This proves that management is an art. Now let us go to the second question of the nature of management, and that is management a science? What do you understand by management as a science, students? Management as a science means what are the features of science? The first feature is it's a systemized body of knowledge. See, here it's not just theoretical knowledge. The knowledge is systemized. So there is systematic knowledge about all matters regarding science. The second feature of science is these are principles based on experimentation. So how will you evolve a principle of science? Let us take one example. Light travels in a straight line. This is a principle of science. Now they will take this as experiment under different conditions. Maybe flashlight in vacuum, flashlight in normal room, flashlight in the night and in the daytime, flash it in water. So many ways we can flash, and we can study where the light always travels in a straight line. Now, in science, principles are based on experimentation, and when they are proved again and again to be right, it becomes a principle. So principles of science are based on experimentation. And the third is they have a universal validity. Under all circumstances, they will be the same. Now, does management have some of the characteristics of science, students? So the first one, management has a systemized body of knowledge, just like science. Management also has principles, but it is not very exact. The third point, it is not very exact as the principles of science. Their application also is not universal. So what do we understand here, students? That their application is also not universal. So management has one characteristic of science, that is, management also has a systemized body of knowledge just like science. But the application cannot be universal, and though they are based on experimentation, okay, students, they do evolve at changing times. They will change according to times. That's why, though management does not have all the characteristics of science, since it has one of the characteristics of science, it proves that management is also a science. So what is management, students? Management is an art and management is a science. This is the nature of management. Now, management can also be a profession, students. Now, what is the meaning of a profession, students? Okay, the profession is, to be a doctor is a profession, to be a chartered accountant is a profession, to be a lawyer is a profession. So what are the characteristics of a profession? The first one is that it should have a well-defined body of knowledge. The second one is restricted entry. Okay, students. The second one is the meaning of restricted entry is all cannot become a professional. All cannot become a doctor. So how will you restrict the entry? You understand that you have to write the NEET examination and get in through with the necessary marks in order to enter into, to study your MBBS to become a doctor. So there will be restricted entry when you are going to talk about a profession. The third characteristic of a profession is it will have a professional association. What's the meaning of a professional association, students? If you want to become a doctor after having done your degree in medicine, you have to get yourself registered, say with the Indian Medical Association, who under all circumstances, having checked in all circumstances, will register you as a doctor. Then you become a doctor. An Indian lawyer has to register himself with the Bar Council of India. So this is what is called a professional body. The fourth characteristic of profession is it should have an ethical code of conduct. Now, all professions will have an ethical code of conduct as to how they have to behave, what they have to do in different circumstances. And the last characteristic of every profession is it will have a service motive. Professions are done to provide service to others, a doctor to a patient, a lawyer to give justice to his clients. Now, are these characteristics in management? Let us study briefly, students. Are these characteristics in management? Now, yes, management has a well-defined body of knowledge. But restricted entry is not there in management. Anyone can become a manager. Professional associations are available for management, but they are not binding upon people to get themselves registered. Ethical code of conduct is also not there, just like in other professions. And the last one, service motive. Business management is not done with a motive of service. No, students, it is done with a motive of profit making. So here we see in management that it has a well-defined body of knowledge. So we can study management in universities and colleges, but it doesn't fulfill the other characteristics of profession. Yet, management is also called a profession because it has at least one characteristic of profession. So this is what I wanted to teach you about management, the nature of management, that management is both an art and a science, and it is a profession. Having studied this, students, let us go to the next step of this chapter, and that is the levels of management. For the levels of management, students, I would like you all to see this particular slide where I have shown you through a hierarchy, okay, students, that there are 3 levels of management: the top level, the middle level, and the lower level. Now for this, students, what do we understand, students? That there are various functions performed by the top level. They will be always called by particular names like the chief executive officer, like the president, etc. The middle level will always be called like divisional heads. The lower levels are called by names like foremans and supervisors, etc. So we recognize which level do they belong. And each level will have particular functions to be performed. The top level will always be involved in making plans. The middle level, which is a link between the top level and the lower level, will always convert the plans made by the top level into action, and action will be done by the lower level. The work of the lower level is to do the job given by their foremen and supervisors. So this is what you understand, that management has got 3 levels. Now, the management will perform various functions. We will be teaching you these functions in the form of 5 chapters. And here you see the first function, which is called planning, students. Planning is to study, to find out what to do in advance. That is called planning. Now, how to organize it, students? Divide it into small jobs, allocate the jobs, and to find out, okay, students, how the job will be done. Now, when you put in life into that structure of that organization by appointing people for doing that job, I call it as a function of staffing. Having staff, students, we have to direct the staff, maybe through leadership, maybe through motivation, or through, students, giving them authority and responsibility. This is what is called the function of directing. And what is the function of controlling? To see to it that the plan is properly performed. So we are going back, students. So the plan is properly performed, and according to the plans, the objectives are being achieved. When you see to it step by step and see there's no deviation, I call it as the function of controlling. So management will have this 5 important functions, students. Here you are seeing this beautiful, student slide, which is telling us about the functions of management. Now let us come to the last topic about coordination. Students, we cannot do management without proper coordination. Each function cannot be done independently on its own. You cannot succeed in a plan without controlling. You cannot succeed in a plan without having a proper organization structure, without proper people for it, and without proper directions to get the work done. You cannot achieve the objectives of the organization if all the departments, all the people involved, all the work, the resources put together do not synchronize to achieve that particular objective. So what do we understand, students? That this process which synchronizes the various activities of the management, which is called coordination, it is very, very important to the organization. You cannot achieve the objectives without coordination. So coordination is called the essence of management. Put 2 drops of essence into your cake batter, and you will see it's smelling beautifully like cakes. Otherwise, you'll have the strong smell of, say, the egg or the butter that is mixed into the butter. So this is what is the function or the role of coordination. So shall we quickly see the characteristics of coordination, students? For that, let us go to the slide, students. Yes, I'm sorry, the characteristics, which is the nature of coordination. Okay, the nature of coordination is integrates group efforts, and these groups are ensured that the action which is taken in the organization will also be unified, and there'll be unity in action. It's always a continuous process. You have to keep on doing it. It is all pervasive function, students, required at all levels, the top level, the middle level, the lower level, which is also called the supervisory level. And for all types of organizations, coordination is necessary. So I call coordination as a pervasive function. Coordination is also the responsibility of all managers. And students, you understand that, without coordination, okay, students, the management cannot succeed. And it's a deliberate function. And students, we compel coordination. We don't, it doesn't come on its own. We have to compel it. So it's a deliberate function. And all this also contribute to the importance of coordination. So I understand, students, that without coordination, we cannot achieve success in the management of a business. And students, for this, we are using various technologies, and this leads us to, business being done as a global village, which is the business managed in the 21st century. So this is what you have to understand about the nature and the significance of management. I'm going to take a very small short break before I come to you with the second chapter, which is the principles of management. Please take a short break.